Welcome to FBB Forum. If you have, or excuse me, if you like this content, please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the FBB Forum YouTube channel and Instagram page. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB figure pro, Monique Mealey, to the podcast. Monique earned her pro card at the 2020 NPC USAs and most recently appeared on stage at the Triple O Dynasty, where she placed 8th in a really stacked class of amazing figure ladies. And I saw her compete at Triple O, and I was just really impressed with her look. And I think she has a very bright future in the sport. So welcome, Monique. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. How's it going in Arizona?
It's good. It's hot. So just trying to stay cool.
Yeah, are you getting to the 100+ degree days yet, or is it get
Pretty
close?
much. Pretty much.
Yeah, I know it gets hot. I'm in Tampa, and we have the humidity on top of the heat, so it just gets really soupy here.
Yes, I have a few friends that live in Florida, and it's a different kind of heat for sure.
I know it's not quite, it's more like the sauna versus the oven. I think it's just kind
Yeah,
of
that's a
different
good way
deal.
to put it.
Yeah. So I was curious in terms of getting started in bodybuilding, did you have an athletic or sports background before you started in bodybuilding?
Yeah. So I'm 5'2", so believe it or not, I actually played basketball. I played up until I got injured in college, so I've always been surrounded by, athletics, powerlifting, just was always active. I got into personal training, and so needed a goal. So this ended up being kind of like the route that I ended up taking.
That's cool. You did basketball, really?
Yes.
I didn't realize you were 5'2". I thought you were taller than that.
I get that a lot, so I'm not mad at it because for being so short, people definitely tell me I have like more of a taller, appearance. So I'll take it.
That's great. No, you do. Yeah, you have a great look on stage for sure.
Thank you.
Now, in terms of getting started in bodybuilding contests, who convinced you to do your first contest, and where was your first contest?
Um, I had a ex-boyfriend who kind of was like, "Oh, maybe you should compete." And then I started the competition prep, and he was like, "Actually, I don't think you can do it. So never tell a woman no, because then she really gets into it." So that's actually why I did my first show. So kind of did it for all the wrong reasons, just to prove someone wrong. Uh, God, it was the NPC. I think it was the Natural Western. It was a Miles production that was out here. So that was March of 2014. And
Wow,
I actually competed in bikini. I had no idea what I was doing. Really, really quickly realized that bikini was not for me. I just naturally have a wider, boxier, um, just appearance. So after that, I saw the figure girls backstage, and I'm like, that's what I want to do.
that's awesome. Very cool. What was your first figure show?
First figure show was then in 20, I want to say it was a year later in 2015. So
Wow,
yeah, just took a year to kind of bulk up and, you know, try and see what I could do figure wise, and didn't do very well for my first few shows. So it's been a very long journey.
sure, I understand. No, but I think that's good though. I think the best competitors kind of grow into it over time, and yeah, definitely. I was curious, do you have a fitness role model that you look up to or that you did when you first started?
Oh, wow. I definitely Dana Lynn Bailey was one of the ones where I loved her look, even though I never thought I could or wanted to do women's physique. I just loved her physique and the femininity that she still held. I feel like there's a lot of times when, unfortunate, I mean, it's part of bodybuilding, but female competitors tend to lose that femininity. And
Mhm.
she was one that I was like, I would love to be muscular and feminine and hold that femininity. So she definitely was one of the ones that got me motivated.
That's terrific. She's the person that comes up the most when I ask that question on
Yeah.
this podcast. She's inspired so many people, and yeah, she's phenomenal too. And
Oh,
being the
yeah.
first, physique Olympia too was amazing.
I think that's why she ends up being such a role model, was I feel like she really helped propel, again, that that equal balance in this sport, showcasing that you still can, just have such a strong, empowering look, but still, be feminine. I guess that's the only word that really comes to mind.
Oh, I agree with you on that. And I think, yeah, keeping the femininity in the sport, I think is important.
And she was so graceful. I mean, just her stage presence, she just had a presence about her. So it just you feel, you look at her and you feel strong.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. One thing I remember about her too is I was keeping an eye on her Instagram, and she was posting just really cool like stories about her life and just short clips and stuff. And yeah, I think people really like that a lot too. So
Yeah. There was a couple times that I actually met her like at like the Olympian, and she was also so humble, just so sweet. I feel like there's a lot of ego in this sport. So after, not only looking up to her, but then seeing how she interacted with people, seeing how she made sure that people still knew like, hey, I'm a person, like you said on her Instagram, like gave insight to her life and made herself very relatable. I really do think she kind of paved the way for a lot of like influencers and positive role models in the sport.
yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that is really good. It's a good legacy, actually.
Yeah.
Um, Now I was curious, when you first got up on stage in bikini, was it kind of nerve-wracking for you? Were you nervous, or was it not so bad?
Yeah, it was. I'm always nervous when I go on stage. I'm not good in front of crowds. So the first time being on stage, I remember being scared, but I remember once I was on stage, I kind of felt at home. Just, you showcase all your hard work. Again, to this day, like even before the Triple O, I'm like shaking like a leaf, like right before I go on stage every single time. I don't think
Wow.
that ever change. But as soon as I get up there, I don't know, there's something peaceful about being up there and again, just showcasing all the hard work. And again, it feels empowering. Just, being able to, I don't know, just be up there with all these amazing women.
Yeah, I understand. And it doesn't, yeah, you didn't look nervous at all. You really look, just really confident and polished up on stage for sure. So
I had everyone fooled. I was so nervous. So thank you.
that's terrific. That's really good though.
Thank you.
But I understand though then, and that, yeah, that the nerves never really go away, is that's, but yeah, but that'll give you some nervous energy, Now, in terms of earning your pro card at the 2020 USAs, what was that moment like? I bet that was exciting for you.
Oh my gosh, I remember it like it was yesterday. I had to do everything in my power not to cry. It was also the first time really that I was able to be on stage with my husband's last name. So hearing
Oh,
not just, my name being called, but hearing my name, Monique Mealey, being called, it was just such a special moment. And I could hear him in the crowd. And it was so emotional. So again, it was 2020. I'd been competing for 6 years at that point. So having all this come to fruition. I had just turned 30 also. So I thought that I'm like, oh, I'm 30. I don't know if I want to compete anymore. And so it kind of relit that fire and it was very special.
my bad. Yeah. And that was in Las Vegas, I think, right?
So actually, because of COVID, it got moved to Arizona. So
Oh,
I actually got to earn my pro card in my backyard. The venue was actually right up the road from my house. I literally
nice.
traveled 10 minutes. It was the most convenient. I just feel like all the everything lined up, all the like cards, lined up really perfectly. So it
Wow.
was good.
That's terrific. That must have been really nice. Yeah. And I think, yeah, having a show in your backyard like Triple O was, I bet is a big advantage, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And just having to have all my, my mother and father-in-law there, friends, other family, just having everybody there, getting to see that was really special.
That's terrific. Yeah. I remember when they had New York Pro in Tampa, I believe in 2020, and it was like, yeah, that's cool to have a big show like that. We already have the Tampa Pro, but have another big show
Mhm.
here in Tampa was incredible. And then, so yeah, definitely an
Arizona
unusual.
has Arizona is such a big bodybuilding community now that I am kind of surprised that more very large shows aren't. I mean, again, we have Wings of Strength here now, which is amazing. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't held like a USA's or something like that again. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping Arizona continues to grow.
Oh, I think it will. Yeah, definitely. I think it is. There's a lot of bodybuilders that live there too. So yeah, it is. It's a great community.
I love it out here.
Oh yeah, it is. That's a great area. I like it too. It's really nice. Um, Now what was your experience like at the Triple O Dynasty? I bet because I was, like I said, I was really impressed with you on stage and I hadn't seen you before, but did you enjoy the show?
I loved it. I mean, you have three Olympians putting it on, so they know what's up. Everything was run so smoothly. It was all about the competitors. They made it very, very easy for the crowd. Backstage, the expediters, they were on top of it. Everyone was very prepared. Again, it was just very well run. So I would hope that, as obviously long-term competitors, they would put on a very well-run show, and that's exactly what they did. So they know what competitors need, and they definitely delivered.
I bet it was kind of cool to be on the inaugural version of that because that was the very first Triple O Dynasty too. So that was neat.
It was very special. It felt really, really, it was really cool.
Yeah, I told people that the vibes at that show were just really good and better than I've seen at any other bodybuilding show. Just
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? It just everybody was so friendly and yeah, just the athletes were really taken well care of and yeah, it just was a really good show.
Yeah. A lot of my teammates, so I'm with Pro Physiques, a lot of my teammates were the ones who were like, checking people in, helping to run the show. And the community at pros and the pros that are pros they're all amazing individuals. So everyone definitely had a good energy. It was nothing but, again, being upbeat. People were smiling, introducing themselves, making sure everyone knew where to go. So it was such a, like you said, it was a perfect community.
That's terrific. That's really cool. And we talked about it before we started, but are you willing to say where you're going to compete next?
Yes. So I'm going to be competing in 4 weeks at the Optimum Pro in Shreveport, Louisiana. And then after that, I am planning on doing the Rising Phoenix Arizona Pro in August here.
That's terrific. Yeah, best wishes to you at Optimum. That's going to be really cool for you.
Very excited.
I'm curious to see how many physique and figure competitors compete there too. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard it's a very well run show. Again, there's a whole bunch of shows lined up. And so I trust my coach. If he says it's a good show, then it's going to be a good show.
oh yeah, definitely. I told you I attended it last year, and I was very impressed. Yeah, the quality of athletes that come, it's really good quality. So yeah,
Good.
you'll do great down there, I bet.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Now I was curious, if you had a chance to talk with the judges and get feedback on where they want you to improve your physique or your presentation?
More conditioning. That's always been my, well, the last time I competed in 22, it was the size of my legs. They said I was very proportional to my upper body, but I definitely needed to grow my lower body to match. And now this time around, it was the conditioning.
Hmm.
So just another good thing about rolling in from one show into the next is we're already right here. So we're cruising on in.
Sure. Yeah. So it'll be like how much, like 6 weeks between shows or something like that?
6 or 7 weeks.
6 or 7. Yeah. I understand. I think, like I mentioned to you earlier, I think just you had like a really full look, and I just thought that was just really appealing. But I can see where, yeah, more conditioning would help you. You'd get a higher placing though, too. So
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because you never know what the just some years I feel like they do go for a little bit more full look. Other years they definitely go for a little bit more conditioning. You don't need as much. Oh, I mean, you always need that fullness, but not as big. And through the shows that we've seen so far, I feel like they're definitely leaning on the side of conditioning. So if I can keep some of that fullness and just come in with a little bit more, deeper lines, a little bit more conditioning my backside, I'm hoping to, do a little bit better.
sure, I totally understand. No, that makes sense. Um, I was curious if you've ever considered moving to the women's physique division, or do you like figure?
I love figure as much as I can appreciate the women's physique division so much. It is beautiful. I would love to be able to get up there and do a routine to some of like my favorite music. It looks like such a cool division, but I'm feel at home in the figure division.
Sure.
As I had mentioned, growth has always been kind of just a struggle for me, especially my lower body. So the amount of muscle I'd have to put on to compete,
Yeah.
just it would take a lot longer, and I feel very comfortable with where I'm at.
Oh yeah, I totally understand that. No, you're doing, I think it makes sense to stick with figure too, because you do really look really good.
Yeah.
I was curious if is there any advice that you could provide to ladies who are, seeking their pro card? Because of course, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication and a lot of time too. But I didn't know if there's any special advice you could provide.
Just don't get discouraged. I was, again, took me 6 years to finally get to a national stage. And there were so many times that I wanted to give up, throw in the towel. This isn't for me. This isn't for me. I'm such a competitive person, though. And so there always was something that kept me going, but just don't get discouraged. Take the feedback. Don't take it personally. This
Mhm,
is not, it is an individual sport, but it's also not in a sense. So
mhm.
you just got to take it and use every single competition, use every single, prep as a learning experience.
Yeah.
So you stop taking it personally and like, oh, I worked hard, so I deserve a better placing. Once you realize like, okay, cool, I worked hard, but now how can I improve on it? It actually makes the whole preparation for those shows and the whole process so much more fun.
Mm.
For me, it's a puzzle piece and I love puzzles. So it's like, okay, take a little bit from here, a little bit from here. How can I put it together, bring an even better package? So when you get out of your own way and get out of your own head, that's when everything started flowing, when I stopped putting that pressure on myself.
That's great. No, that's really good advice too. And yeah, it is. It takes time, and I think that's a good point about getting constructive criticism on where to improve and not take it personal. I think that's important.
Yeah, that's the thing I hear a lot. Like, my husband, he coaches a lot of competitors, and I've been obviously in the competition world now for going on 10 years. So the thing that I hear the most, like, well, I worked so hard and I earned this and I deserve, and that person shouldn't have beaten me because of blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we're all working hard. We're all going
Yeah.
after the same thing. Just someone showed up with a better package or a better stage presence or whatever the case is. Even if
Mhm,
it's politics, like, okay, the placing happened. You complaining isn't going to change anything. So got to
mhm.
roll with the punches. When you get in your head about that, it makes it less fun.
Yeah.
So why, kick yourself already when you're down? Instead, it's like, okay, it happened. What can we do better?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's really good advice, actually. And yeah, unfortunately, there's always a little bit of politics. That's probably in every sport. So,
It is what it is. And when
yeah.
I realize that there are a lot of things out of my control in this sport as well, I bring my best package. I work as hard as I can, but I can't control who's going to show up. I can't control, maybe that day the judges didn't like the fact that I was in a red suit. Who knows? I mean, it's just you don't, there's so many variables. So you just really have to show up, put your best foot forward and see what happens.
Yeah, that's true. I think yeah, the judging panels really vary a lot too from show to show. So that kind of it depends on who's in the room or who's sitting there at the time, I think,
Oh,
you know.
absolutely. And you got to be
Mhm,
strategic too. On the East Coast, they love the bigger girls.
mhm,
I will never be the biggest on stage, so I probably won't travel to the East Coast. Um,
mhm.
I definitely wanted to come in with a fuller look because I thought that based on that judging panel, that might be what they wanted. And it just wasn't what they wanted that time around. So now I got to roll with the punches. So you got to be strategic about it. And again, just maybe they enjoyed the green suits more, like, oh, her stage present wasn't as good as all the other ones. And, you just got to get the feedback and again, move forward.
Yeah, definitely. I understand. That makes sense. I was curious, what has been your favorite bodybuilding show so far?
Um, Honestly, I think it was the Rising Phoenix when I did it in 22. I did my pro debut was at the San Antonio Pro, and I really did enjoy that show as well. Uh,
Yeah.
so far, all my Arizona shows have been great.
Oh, very cool.
But I'm very excited. I haven't clearly I haven't done a lot of traveling other than San Antonio because I've done two here at home. So I am excited to be able to experience more out of town shows. I will hopefully have again some amazing experiences moving forward too.
That's terrific. And you said you took a year off. Which year did you say again?
Last year, so 23.
23, yeah. And you use that time to grow and probably good to give your body a rest too, I bet.
Yes, my husband and I, we own a not just a gym, it's also a wellness center. So we specialize in hormone replacement therapy, just wellness. We do a lot when it comes to holistic wellness. And so we know the importance of blood work, making sure you're giving your body time, especially in the competing world, getting hormones to, reset. You want to be working efficiently in the gym. And if you don't take care of your body, give yourself time, recover properly, it doesn't matter the work you put in, you're not going to see the results that you want.
Yeah, that's true. What's the name of your wellness center at
Tytin Wellness.
Tytin? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll make sure to include the link to it down below in case people want to find out more.
Thank you.
And do you coach as well? Coach ladies or?
So I just do general lifestyle, weight loss, healthy lifestyle coaching. I
Yeah.
did coach competitors for a little bit there, as much as, I like to think I'm a good coach. I am very emotionally involved with my clients, as much as I
Mm,
try and separate that. And when it comes to
mhm,
competing, there is a much larger emotional relationship. And it just became a little bit more draining to me. And
mm.
my husband, he is very good about separating, again, that, coach from that emotional side.
Yeah.
So he takes all the competitors now. I also found that I was not being able to, because it's a lot more involved, put as much effort into my lifestyle clients. So I kind of decided to pick and choose. And I really love my lifestyle weight loss clients. They're great.
That's terrific. Yeah, that's really cool. I understand too about coaching competitors too. It can be kind of tough.
Um, we can be very neurotic sometimes too. So I'm just like, my emotional and mental battery gets drained very easily. So I'm just gotta protect my social meter as well.
Sure. No, I understand that. Yeah, it makes sense. Now, do you yourself have a prep coach?
I do. I'm with Damian at Pro Physiques.
Oh, very cool. And how long have you been working with him, right?
This is actually my first year working with him. I'm really, really enjoying it a lot so far.
Oh, very cool. And I was curious, do you have a posing coach too?
Yes, I'm posing with Autumn Cleveland.
Oh, Autumn Cleveland. Oh, yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, I like her a lot.
I
Yeah.
absolutely love her. She is one of my favorite humans.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever got to compete with her or on stage at the same show?
Yes, so I did in 22. She and I did the Rising Phoenix together.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, she's amazing with her posing too. I bet she's a great coach.
Oh my gosh, I she also did the San Antonio Pro with me. So we actually got to compete twice together. So
Oh, terrific.
she did both shows with me. I've gotten to know her really, really well over the last couple of years. And again, I just absolutely love her.
Yeah, she's amazing. I like her too. I like her kind of got the little southern accent going on. She's cute.
Oh, she's awesome. And again, she's one of the competitors that I've always looked up to also. So being able to, it's been such a surreal experience, seeing some of these amazing women that I have looked up to or followed and have gotten now to know, and being able to call her like a really good friend of mine now. Again, it just kind of like, I always have to like pinch myself. Like when I'm texting, I'm like, oh my God, I'm texting Autumn right now. So it still is very, again, that's very surreal. So, but being able to be backstage, see her, and again, her grace on stage, her posing, which is why I've wanted her to. I've been working with her for posing. Her stage presence, her posing is absolutely beautiful. She's so graceful. And again, her package, and I can appreciate her journey too, because I feel I resonate with her a lot, with the fact that she has spent so much time just building her physique and working, to get to where she is and finally get to the Olympia stage. That was so cool to finally see her get there.
Yeah, she's really amazing. Yeah, and that's great that you get to work with her too, because I bet she's really inspiring too.
Oh, so inspiring. And again, I really love, she is very relatable, very personable. I love that she gives a lot of insight into not just her competition life, but her personal life. Her and her now fiance are hilarious. I absolutely love them. So just being able to follow them has been also very motivating for sure.
I think it was on Instagram, I think, where they've done videos, she and her fiance, and
They're,
they're like really silly and
oh, I
she's like,
love it. And
I'm
again,
hungry.
it's great. My husband and I, Ty and I, we are the biggest goofballs ever. So again, when we've like met them and like hung out with them, it's like we're just like, four peas in a pod. It's just there's so many similarities. So we absolutely love it, because we're like, we can relate to that, because it's just there's so many, uh it's just very relatable.
Oh yeah, Autumn was cracking me up in some of those videos. It was hilarious. It was really cute.
Oh, they're great.
I was curious, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of competition prep for you?
Um, it's a good question. I would say probably the mental aspect of it. I am my own worst enemy. I tend to be, I'm the one that gets in my own way. So I will beat myself up. I'm very, very, very lucky to have the most supportive husband in the world who is my number one fan, who is able to talk me off the ledge. But being able to overcome, again, almost like the imposter syndrome, like, oh, I don't know if I deserve to be up here. I still, whenever I introduce myself or someone says, oh, she's a pro, it just doesn't feel like, I don't know, it still feels weird to me to say.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, I kind of go back and forth with like, do I deserve to be here? Am I really, am I part of this sport for real? Like, do I deserve to be up here?
I understand. Yeah. No, that's um, do you think you've gotten better with the mental aspect of it over time?
Yeah, I would like to think so. Um, Again, it was probably 2019, 2020 when I finally certain things started clicking and I stopped taking again it a lot more. I stopped taking stuff personally and I started just kind of going with the flow and getting out of
Hmm.
my own way. And that's when I earned my pro card, now I'm the pro. So everything just started kind of falling into place.
Sure, I understand. No, I think that's really tough, I think, to the mental aspect of bodybuilding. I don't think people really realize it going in, that how tough it is.
Well, and on top of it, so I'm bipolar. I definitely am very, very um easily, swayed, easily, distracted in certain
Hmm.
aspects too. I'm very up and down.
Sure.
So being able to, when I'm kind of going in a little bit of my downward spiral, to be able to bring myself back up, been a lot
Yeah.
of therapy, which is again, so I love talking about it. It has obviously saved my life, but they just knowing what I need to do and being able to learn certain coping mechanisms and how to handle myself when I'm going through certain ups and downs has been probably one of the best things that I could do as well.
That's really good. That's good. Yeah, seeing therapists, I think, is really good too. Yeah, that's great. I was curious in terms of if you could give any advice to ladies that are looking for a good coach. What would you say?
Do your research.
Yeah.
Um, just because someone has a huge Instagram following, just because someone competed one time, just because you like someone's look, does not mean they're a good coach. If
Mhm.
your coach is not asking about when your last hormone panel was, if your coach isn't able to explain why they're doing certain things, if your coach doesn't have, and not that they don't have experience, but if they are not able to provide examples as to why they're doing certain things, I would not trust them. There are certain coaches that have earned reputations, and obviously those are going to be your top coaches. I understand that sometimes finances come into play, but if you want to, it's an investment. This whole sport is an investment,
Mhm.
but a good coach will ask all the right questions. A good coach will also put your health first.
Mhm.
They won't, sacrifice your health in order to get on stage. Now, obviously, there's going to be sacrifices you have to make because this is bodybuilding. This
Mhm.
naturally is an unhealthy sport in
Yeah.
certain aspects, but your coach should be able to take care of you in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I think that's really good advice, I think. And yeah, do your research is important. And yeah, definitely.
Yes,
And we talked about you live in Phoenix area. Do you have a supportive bodybuilding community there?
absolutely. My husband is amazing. The community that we have at our gym, we are a private training facility, so it is a very close knit community. Everybody knows everybody, and through the
Nice.
bodybuilding community, I've been able to make some really close friends who have, again, whether they are part of our gym, come to our gym. I have such a tight knit circle. Met some of the most amazing individuals through competing.
That's terrific. Very cool. Yeah, Phoenix is really good, with the shows that are there and the Wings of Strength that's there and Rising Phoenix. I really want to check that show out sometime because that's a great show.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It's again, a very well-run show. They put a lot of pride into that show, and it shows on stage and shows back. I mean, just shows all over.
Yeah, that's terrific. Yeah, definitely gotta check it out. As a female bodybuilding fan, I felt like that with Triple O. I was like, I got to go to that show because I got this FBB Forum, but now I got to get to Rising Phoenix too. So
Yes, yes. I love the fact that, again, so far, the Arizona shows, they really do put an emphasis on the figure, women's physique, and bodybuilding divisions.
mhm.
I understand bikini and wellness are very popular, but again, the amount of work that these divisions put into it and to not be highlighted as much sometimes is
Yeah,
very discouraging. I mean, it's just what we're able to accomplish, and especially the women's physique and bodybuilders. It's so impressive. The amount of hard work, dedication, and just time that they've put into their physique, what they're able to do it's unbelievable.
yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah, I admire those ladies for sure. I think I mentioned to you a while back that I thought you looked like Sherry Priami, at least like in the face, but she's got a lot more size now because she's been doing women's bodybuilding, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
um, Now, is your husband Ty? Is he a bodybuilder as well, or is he? I know he's a coach.
We met through competing. Well, we met through a mutual friend because we both compete. So she introduced us. When we first started dating, we both did compete together. As it went on, we realized very quickly that I was definitely more into the sport than he was. So he kind of took a backseat, and
Mhm.
he just loves, as much as I would never let him coach me because I would probably fight him a lot on certain things because I don't
Mm.
listen to him.
Mhm.
Sorry, babe. But he loves being involved, and he loves the coaching aspect, so being able to be a part of it, again, I'm very lucky. He is my number one supporter. I could not have asked for a better partner through this. So he again took that back seat and has been by my side, now along this entire journey.
That's terrific. That's great. How long you guys been married?
It'll be 5 years this year, and then 10 years together.
Wow, terrific. That's great. Yeah. And it's great that you have the wellness center together too. I think that's really cool.
It's been really cool to watch our little baby grow.
Yeah, that's true. Now, is that y'all's full-time job working at the wellness center, or do you have anything outside of that?
Yeah, so we started off just as a gym back in 2016, and we were just a small 1,500 square foot studio. And then we expanded in 2018 into a larger space that was probably about like 3,000 square feet. And we added on like a naturopath, a chiropractor. And so half gym, half kind of wellness center. And now we are in a much larger, like, oh God, I want to say like 15,000 square foot facility, and
Wow.
we have massage therapy. We have a nurse who does IV hormones. We have aesthetics, Botox fillers, laser hair removal, recovery, cosmetic tattoo, a whole bunch of stuff. So under one roof.
Wow. That's huge. 15,000 square feet. That's really big. And all the services you offer too. That's really impressive.
Our goal is to be a one-stop shop for everything.
Do you guys get folks coming from out of town too, or is it more local folks?
It's primarily local. When I mean, through the bodybuilding community and through obviously like social media, whenever people are in town for anything, we tend to we're like a destination, facility. So because we're not an open gym, we're just private training and everything, but anyone can come to the wellness side. So we do
Mhm.
have people stopping in and stuff, but primarily, local people. Through the
Mhm.
bodybuilding community, it's been really cool because for hormone replacement therapy, we can, again, prescribe for people out of state. So we do have a lot of out of state bodybuilders who do go through us too.
Really? Oh, that's very cool. That's awesome. And when there's a bodybuilding show going on, do you have competitors come and use your gym, or are they allowed to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. For our fellow, pros and everything like that, we definitely love opening up the gym to them.
That's great. Very cool. Now, I was curious, what do your parents think about your bodybuilding efforts, and are they supportive of you?
It's funny, at first they just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
um, and now they are so supportive. They, I think, over the years, see it's not just me getting up, half naked on stage. They see the hard work and all the stuff that I put in over the years, and they're very proud.
That's terrific. I'm really glad to hear that. I've heard about parents that are not supportive, and it's just, I think it's a little heartbreaking sometimes for for the competitors because they, you put so much time and effort and pain and suffering into it too. So to have your parents support, I think is really important.
Definitely. I mean, it took some time because again, at first they just didn't understand the like, why are you doing that? I mean, and so it's I don't think it's in certain parents and like their eyes, they didn't consider it a sport because growing up I played sports. So I'm like, oh, you should understand. But because it's not seen as like a sport in certain ways, they were just kind of I don't know, apprehensive.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. I don't know. I have a daughter. I don't know how I'd feel about her being up in a bikini on stage too. I'd be like,
Yeah. I mean, and I totally understand it. The first time, I got up on stage, my parents were there and they just, again, just saw it as, I mean, I think over the years too, bodybuilding has become more, well, one, more prevalent, but it's now seen in a different light. It's not just women getting up, flexing and all that. It has become more of a show. And
yeah,
there's a lot more appreciation for not, I mean, not just for the females, but even for the men, there's just a lot more appreciation for what bodybuilding is and the reasoning behind bodybuilding.
yeah, I agree with you on that. I think you're definitely right about that. And I just wish we could get it back on TV because I miss back in the day it was on ESPN and NBC and I
Yeah,
think it introduced a lot of people to the sport too. So
yeah,
I would like to see it get back on mainstream TV again. But
I hope so too. I mean, hopefully, you never know.
yeah, I know. ESPN has all those channels. They need to start showing
Yeah, agreed.
it. Now, I was just curious, do you like to show off your muscles in public or do you prefer to stay covered up?
Totally depends. um when it comes to like if Ty and I are just going to like the mall or something like that, I definitely try, I stay pretty covered up. Not for any reason other than, I want to be comfortable when I go out in the public and I do
Yeah.
my oversized comfy clothes. But we love going like music festivals and stuff like that. And when I go to music festivals, I just want to like show it all. So I
Nice.
do enjoy being able to again show off the hard work. But it's kind of just depending on the situation.
Do you get compliments from folks or do you ever have to deal with haters and stuff or
To be honest, it's more complimentary than people saying anything negative. I
yeah.
definitely think it's the way that we handle ourselves in public. I'm naturally I call myself an extroverted introvert in the sense that I'm very introverted until I feel comfortable in a situation. So I think because I am a little more reserved, I almost seem a little more approachable.
Mhm.
So I think people are, not as afraid to approach. I think some people have, whether it's an aura or demeanor that, you're already acting a certain way and you look a certain way. So people might be a little bit more combative in a
Mm,
sense.
sure.
So I'm very lucky that via, in person and through social media, I have had a very supportive community.
That's terrific. That's really good. That's nice to hear for sure. Now, I was curious if you were in a leadership position with IFBB or NPC, what would you do to improve the sport of bodybuilding and how would you try to make the sport better?
I mean, that's a really good question. I definitely, when it comes to being a pro, I haven't been in obviously the IFBB, for very, very long. So I think I'm still kind of experiencing, what the pro level is all about. So far I've had great experiences. I would love for there to be more maybe events or, ways for the competitors to maybe like do more things together outside of shows. I don't know
Hmm,
if that already exists. I'm just not familiar with it, but making it even more of a community. I mean, we're all here, we're all competing together, whether it's more, I've seen like, gyms hold, like the Olympia challenges where like people come together and they do like the lifting challenges and stuff, but like seeing more things like that,
yeah.
getting the fans of the bodybuilding community more involved. So whether it's like an expo or anything like that outside of even the Olympia. So again, don't know if it exists, but I would love to just see more of the competitors being able to come together in a sense.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think that would be really good. Have you ever hosted like a posing clinic at your facility before or anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, we actually just hosted our second one actually yesterday. And
Oh, cool.
so we just started and it's been really, really great. I actually have been talking with Wings of Strength, and I'm trying to make it a little bit of a bigger, event, in the sense that we'll have the posing clinic, but I want to bring vendors, want to bring other competitors, I want to bring other gyms even to it.
Yeah.
Ty and I are very much in the mindset of, yes, gyms, we all are competitive in the sense of wanting to get clients, but again, we're all after the same thing. Like, we are
Yeah.
not a competition gym. So if a competitor comes to us and they want someone that specializes in competition prep, we might say, well, we are a gym that does competition prep, but if you want a competition prep gym, here are the people that we recommend. If someone wants something that, again, we don't offer, we have some great connections. So we, again, treat other gyms as a community. We're all in it for the same thing. We all are going to grow together if we're all successful. So we want to bring other gyms in also, so people know who we trust too. Because again, there's a million gyms. How do you sift through all of them and kind of get rid of all the BS? So if we're seen as a trusted facility, we want to also be like, these are the people we trust in this, industry as well.
That makes a lot of sense, I think. Yeah, I haven't even heard a competitor say that, or a gym owner, but I think that makes a lot of sense that, yeah, we're kind of all in this together, and yeah, I think collaboration makes a lot of sense, and referrals and everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. And everyone has different training styles. I'm not a one size fits all trainer. I have had people come to me and we just don't mesh, or my training style or my philosophy doesn't match up with what they want. And so again, if someone doesn't vibe with me, I love the fact that we are linked up with other gyms to be like, okay, based on what you're looking for, I think this person might be a better fit for you. Oh, you are a little bit more into group training. I primarily do one-on-ones. Here are some trainers that I know do a little bit more of the type of workout you're looking for.
Mhm.
So, I mean, having those referrals and knowing that I'm sending people to other people that I trust that are going to take care of these people and not run them into the ground or mess up their hormones and anything like that, it makes me feel good, being able to refer people to other trusted facilities.
That's great. I think that's terrific. Yeah, I think that's really good. Good kind of philosophy, and good, yeah, very positive outlook on things, I think. Yeah. I
We're
just
very big on community, very big.
Oh no, I think yeah, I think that makes sense. That's important, I think. Now, in terms of, I just have one more question for you, and you already mentioned a little bit, but in terms of social media, do you ever find yourself kind of the target of fit shaming? Because I was even surprised that fit shaming is a thing. I just, like, why would anyone try to shame you into looking good like that?
No, it absolutely is. There have been a handful of times, but I mean, I'm very lucky and very blessed in the sense that I feel like Ty and we are as authentic as possible. We like to be as transparent as possible. We try and give people kind of like what we've talked about with like Autumn and like, Daniel and Bailey, we try and be as transparent into our own lives, our own struggles. So I think
Mhm.
because we try and, help people remember like we're people also, again, we try and be as relatable as possible. And my life isn't just bodybuilding. I have been very, very lucky with having a very positive backing and community and support system.
Mhm.
On my posts, I have nothing but love and I give back nothing but love. I don't like to stir the pot. I'm not combative. If I don't agree with something, I'm very neutral. When it comes to like those ask me anonymous questions, if there's something that I don't agree with or a question that I don't like, I typically don't repost it. I'm not trying to
Mm.
start shit. So
Yeah.
I try and keep stuff as positive as possible. And I think because that's the energy I emit, it's the energy I get back. So
Okay.
I hope to keep it that way. It's interesting to see the fit shaming though, because it's surprising to me,
Yeah.
put in so much time and effort. These women and these men put in so much time and effort. And just because someone doesn't agree with it, to take time out of their day and to take that energy to bring someone down just because you don't understand it, it blows my mind,
Yeah.
So it's something I will never understand.
I totally understand that, or I understand where you're coming from too, because yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. And like I said, I didn't even know it was a thing until I started this podcast, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing, like, I have so many friends who do like OnlyFans, right? And I can appreciate it. At the end of the day, like the how being able to put yourself out there in certain ways, I can appreciate stuff like that so much. But then people, because they don't understand or don't agree, shaming somebody for, again, what the industry that they're in, it's really disappointing. Just because you don't understand something, just because you don't agree with it, does then taking the time to be mean to somebody, I will never understand that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And I feel the same way. Yeah. Now, now I was curious, would you be cool with doing a quick double bicep flex?
Yes, absolutely. Got you.
Oh, wow, you look great. Thank you so much. And thank
Appreciate
you so much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And we'll get this posted relatively soon. But thanks again for your time and best wishes at Optimum too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.